Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
You don't remember what we are doing? Sorry for the breaks. We are doing Srimad Bhagavatam. So we finished first canto and we are in the middle of second canto. First thing is that you all heard the latest news from India?
Yeah.
About Ayodhya.
Yeah.
So Ayodhya news has been, yeah. The judgment has been made that Ram's birthplace can be built. We can build a temple again, and they've given another place for the mosque. So everything seems to be going a nice way and direction. Sita Ram Hanuman Lakshman Hanuman ki Jai. Okay, let's go ahead and start. Om Shuklam Vardhanam Vishnum Sasivarnam Sadbhujam Prasanna Dhyayed Sarva Vignopashantaye Janmadi Aseto Anvaya Idrasasya Abhijna Swarat Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Havaye Mukhyanti Suraya Tejo Vari Mritam Yata Vinimayo Yatra Sargo Mrasa Dhamna Svena Nirasa Sarvam Satyam Param Dhimahi Nigama Kalpataror Galitam Phalam Sukam Kad Amridam Dhruva Samyuktam Bhivata Bhagavatam Rasamalaya Muravo Rasika Bhuvi Bhavukaha Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayam Udirayat Vasudheve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayadi Asu Vairagyam Jnanam Yachat Ahaitukam Nashta Prayeshu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Prapa Pranashanam Pranama Dukkha Samanam Tam Namami Harim Haram Param Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. So, just a recap. We'll go. If you all think that we can go ahead where we stop, we can do that, or we can do the recap. Or everyone remember where we left? Okay. So where Parikshit Maharaj was got the association of Shukadev Goswami, and Shukadev Goswami arrived, and then the conversation started, and Parikshit Maharaj was asking many questions to Shukadev Goswami, and the primary questions that we saw in last class, I believe, last session, was a number of questions. We'll see those things, what he asked, those questions. And then there was also discussion about the Suta Goswami is asking the questions about how Suta Goswami explained to the Shaunaka Rishis about the life of Parikshit Maharaj. In that we saw how Parikshit Maharaj was devoted right from his childhood, and then how he came in contact with Kali Purusha. You remember those things slightly? So he was on a way of returning back somewhere, and then he saw this cow and bull, and this then we went and spoke to asked about why they were hurt, And then they started having the conversation. And then he also saw, Parishit Maharaj also saw there was someone was standing in a distance, nicely dressed up like a king, but then his activities were not very nice. So therefore the bull was none other than Dharma, and the cow was Mother Earth. So Dharma was being supported by 4 legs. Dharma was supported by the 4 legs, and these legs were hurt. So in the 4 yugas, the Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga and Kali Yuga, every yuga should be supported by the 4 dharmas. But then as the yugas were changing, there was a degradation of each and every part of the dharma. The 4 dharmas, 4 legs of the dharma are the truthfulness, the cleanliness, the austerity, and ahimsa, the compassion. Those are the 4 legs of the dharma. When these things are not followed, then the dharma is going to be affected. That's what is adharma. So therefore in Kali Yuga, pretty much everything is gone, as they say. Pretty much everything is gone, and there's no much of cleanliness, there's no compassion, there's no austerity, no one want to follow any austerities, and truthful is also gone, very slightly, little bit is there. So therefore, if we are follower of dharma, these 4 things has to be followed very strictly. When these things are not followed, then we are not following the dharma. And then Parishit Maharaj went and spoke to this Kali Purusha. He was ready to punish the Kali Purusha, so he took the sword to cut him off. And then Kali Purusha spoke, saying that, hold on, stop, I am doing my duty. When we are all created by God. Say, if you go and tell a snake not to bite, that's not what snake's supposed to do. Its nature is like that. The scorpion nature is to bite, sting. Like that, everyone has their nature. But even though everyone has their nature, not that we should take that my nature is that's how I am, then we have that way that we can change our nature also to betterment. We can always change our nature. Therefore, Kali was saying that this is what I am supposed to do. This is my responsibility, roles and responsibility, that I have to punish people and do all sort of things. And Parishit said, no, you can't do this as long as I am ruling this planet. You can't do this. Well, give me some place where I can do my job. You can't just send me off. Where am I going to? I have to reside in your kingdom. Give me some place where I can reside. Therefore, Parishit Maharaj said, I'll give you 4 places, and you can stay there happily. Because Parishit Maharaj knows very well these 4 places, as long as, because it was Parishit Maharaj, these things were not happening. Everything was perfectly followed nicely. What are the 4 places he gave? Wherever there is dhyutam, wherever there's a gambling is going on, you can stay there. Wherever there is pana means alcohol or intoxication, general intoxication. Wherever intoxication is happening, stay there. And then wherever the women are being mistreated, you can be there. And wherever there is no truth, people are lying and speaking lies and cheating others, so you can be there. 4 things. I'll give you 4 places, be happy. And then Kali came back, said, well, you are the king. In your kingdom, everyone is truthful. Everyone is very respectful of women. Right? No one ever does anything wrong in their behavior. And everything was perfectly followed very nicely. So, even though you gave me 4 places, can you please give me more? And then he said, okay, well, I'll give you a 5th place. And he said, wherever there's a lot of gold accumulated, fifth place. Wherever there is gold, you can be there. Well, that question was somewhat when someone might thinking, gold. Then I'm wearing my ring, I'm wearing my neck chain, and everything is I'm covered by gold. So maybe we have to change to platinum, because Bhagavatham says gold is a place of Kali Purusha. Maybe we should go with platinum, or there's no mention of diamond, there's no mention of pearls. Maybe we can use it's a general term. Gold means it's inclusive of everything, because the economy is based on gold, right? So that's how gold is said. Therefore, the thing is, one can have gold. There's no problem in having gold, as long as the gold is being used in the proper way and proper service. No problem. One should not be greedy. One should not be greedy of having gold. Wealth. If the wealth can be utilized in the service properly, in service of God, then there's no problem in having wealth. Right? Otherwise, Parikshit Maharaj would be the first person to be attacked. Yes or no? King, who has more gold? King will be having more gold, right? So when king is giving, when Parikshit is giving, you can be in the place, fifth place gold, then you should be afraid of giving that place. No one else can have more gold than Parikshit Maharaj. But he knows, as long as the gold is used in a proper way, in a proper sense, in the service of God, then there is no problem in having any amount of gold, in wealth in general. Therefore he said these things are allowed. Then he said, give me more. Give me more. This is not sufficient. You have to give me more. And he said, okay, take more places. Wherever there is anger, he goes into next aspect of wherever there is anger, wherever there is a greed, wherever the cheating is happening, those places also. So he gives all together, he gives 10 places. 10 places he gives. And now Kali Purusha becomes very happy. He becomes happy. Yeah. Then that chapter is over. And then one point of time, Parikshit Maharaj was traveling and he was coming. While he was coming, then he was very thirsty. He was feeling very thirsty. He wanted to drink something. So he came and he saw in a distance a hut, a kuti, a small hut in the forest. And he went there and he saw there was one rishi was sitting in a meditative pose. So this rishi was in a meditation, and Parikshit Maharaj was thinking, I am a king, I came here, and this person is not even giving any respect. Right? You come to someone's house, someone's place, you have to offer something, give something. It's not like you invite someone, you keep watching TV. The serial and TV will be going on and guest will be sitting there. Right? That's not the way it is. It happens, right? You have a guest at your house, TV will be running, and that will be going on, and the guest will be there also. What sort of hospitality is this? Therefore, that's not right thing. So Parikshit Maharaj was thinking, what I'm here is not even offering, not even he have to give anything. At least he can give some sweet words, speak something nicely. So as per the Dharma Shastra, anyone comes home, you have to first welcome that person and offer him a nice seat and then give him something to eat or drink. Anything, these types of things one has to do. So therefore Parikshit Maharaj said, this person doesn't even know how to behave properly to a guest. Therefore he disrespected me. Therefore I have to teach him, as a king I have to teach him something. I have to do something for him. So he saw close by there's a dead snake. There was a dead snake. He took the dead snake. He said, thank you for treating me so nicely. I want to give you something nice. Put a garland around you. So he put a dead garland around him. And then he left. So he left. King left. Even though king left back to his kingdom, throughout his journey, he was just thinking about what has happened, the incident has happened. What has happened over there. He was thinking, what did I do? Why did I behave like this? And I've been carried away by thirst and hunger. And when a person is hungry and thirsty, sometimes he loses control of his senses and he behaves something differently. Therefore, I got captivated by this hunger and thirst and senses. What a mistake I've done. He was thinking like that. By then, some kids were around in that area. They know what has happened. They ran and reported this rishi had his son, young son, little son, and then they went and told this boy, Shringi, right? He said that your father has been, this what has happened, king came and this is what happened. And this boy became very upset, very angry, because his father was insulted. So he became very angry. Being a small Brahmana boy, but he was so much powerful, he cursed the king. What the curse he made? Do you remember? Do you know?
Oh, yes. The snake
Yes.
bites him.
Huh?
The snake bites him.
What?
Takshaka.
Yes. The king bite him, right? The snakes. I mean, snakes bite him. Snake's name is
Takshaka.
Takshaka. Let the Takshaka bite this king in 7 days from today. So he cursed and he went back to his father. And the father came back to his external senses. He said the son was crying, standing and crying there. He said, "What happened to you? Why are you crying?" And the son explained, this is what has happened. See, the king has come and did like this to you. And the father became very upset of the behavior of the son. You're my son. Instead of exhibiting tolerance, you just reacted to the situation. That too is a king. How can you do this to a king? It is a simple matter. Very simple thing. You just put a snake, dead snake on my body. What's the big deal about it? We are also a snake and this is a dead snake. Our body is considered to be a snake. Right? That means what? Every day when we are going to sleep, we have to have this consciousness, I am sleeping with a snake. What is a snake? Our body is a snake. That means the level of the consciousness of the great souls is like that. I am living with a poisonous snake. This body is such a thing. It just somehow or the other entangles us into the material thing. What else can be more poisonous than this body? How much we get attracted to the body, give attention to the body, and this body being with us like a snake, waiting for a moment to bite us. In other words, spiritually it just stops us progressing. Right? Therefore, this father was telling, what's the big deal about it? After all, it's a dead snake. You shouldn't have reacted to the situation. Now that you curse the king, after 7 days, he's going to for sure be killed. And then what's going to happen to the citizen? He was such a nice king, emperor. What's going to happen to the king? You shouldn't have done this one. I'm very unhappy with this one. Therefore, as you can see, Kali Yuga started his job. Right? Where did it start? From a Brahmana boy. Right? Instead of controlling his anger, he was not into gold or anything. Into controlling his anger, he reacted. One of the plays that king gave, Parikshit gave was, when someone loses his control, then you can occupy that place. This boy lost his control and things started at that very point. Then the message reached to Parikshit Maharaj in his kingdom, and the message came that you've been cursed to die in 7 days. Die in 7 days. And then Parikshit Maharaj, after hearing this one, what did he do? He was not upset about it. He was quite felt that I deserve it. Rather than he felt, why this happened to me, he feel that he deserved it. Sometimes this is very interesting. While I was coming from home, there was a conversation happening between mom and daughter, and there was a question happening. You have next week you have a Kuman test, right? And then I was just listening to the conversation mom and daughter was having quietly, but it was quite an interesting realization I had from the conversation. I just want to share that she asked that, oh, test, okay. So one mom said that, you know everything. Whatever the test they're going to give you, they're going to ask from what they taught you. So you just have to make sure you refresh yourself so you can do a good job in your test. That sentence clicked me. Imagine in our situation, this is very true. in a regular education, when you go to school, right? You do math exam or any exams, right? So, or when you have an exam, does the teacher give you an exam? Which grade are you in?
7th grade.
Okay. When the teacher gives you a question paper, does she gives you a question paper of that which is not been taught to you?
No.
Is it not true? Whatever education we are trying, we are always, sometimes many people, I'm not afraid of any exams, or I don't care about the result anyway. So sometimes people are scared about the test and exams. But in reality, what are they going to ask? Is it something out of the box they're going to ask? Every question paper will have those things which has been taught. Is what going to be asked? Yes or no? But how much we are really concerned about, oh, exam is coming, test is coming, exam is coming, test is coming, right? Something. So everything, if you see, the test means, examination means that which has been already gone through in our life. And it could be education, it could be an experience or whatever, that has been put into a test. And do you think God is going to do something different? No. He is going to do the same thing. Unless he is not going to put anyone into an examination situation where he is not given us proper experience or proper test, proper education. That means anything that is happening in our life, we have enough experience in our life. Pashya napina pashyati. Pashya napina pashyati. This is also what's been told by the sages. That everything that we have, now we must be thinking that, oh, what a challenge in my life. But that is not a challenge, it's a test. Test of what's been already told. How we've been educated, God has given us the Shastra. That is an education. God has given us wonderful sages and saints and gurus to teach us. That's also been provided to us. And whatever has been provided, we have given enough opportunity in our life to experience those things also. So nothing is new. Nothing is new at all. And our lifetime of experience is not just one time or two times. Hundreds and thousands and millions and trillions of time we've experienced in our life. So if we just sit and think about our life, whenever there is a challenge in our life, we should be able to take shelter of Krishna, and we should be able to see, this is nothing new in my life. I should be able to overcome in my life. Right? So King Parishit Maharaj was thinking, I'm ready to take this one. I am ready to take this one. But then now that I only have 7 days in my life, I should make use of this time very valuably, very precisely, very preciously. So he just gave the kingdom to his son, Janamejaya, right? Correct? He gave the kingdom to Janamejaya, and then he walked out of the kingdom. He dressed up or he removed everything off like a mendicant. He just removed everything and just went straight, walked into the into the forest, into the river. And then all this, before even he went there, interestingly, all the sages and rishis and munis the entire community of great souls were sitting over there. They already know this king is coming over there. They were just waiting over there. The king came there, he fell at the feet of all these great rishis and then requested them to, please tell me, what am I supposed to do now? Only 7 days left. Only 7 days left. One rishi got up and said, did you make sure you wrote your will? Another one said, what about your, all those different things? Did you make sure these things? Another one said, no one spoke anything about these things, right? We know that. None of them said anything about these things. But then when the king said, what am I supposed to do 7 days? Every rishi was looking at each other, thinking that you tell. You are great, you tell. Another one said, no, you are great, you tell. Everyone is thinking about giving an opportunity to others to speak. That's how it is. Whenever someone comes and asks advice, you think the other person is better to give advice than myself. In our tradition, we have a different style. Our tradition is, whether you ask advice or not, you will give advice. We are always like that. We don't even consider this person is asking for advice or not. I was attending some seminar course, And then one great person was giving a lecture, and he was talking something, and suddenly one of the students was telling, if you ask me, I would say, he was saying, that person was just giving some options and ideas and things like that. Suddenly one of the students got up and said, if you ask me, there's a mic, every table has a mic, right? When he gives a mic, already it's attractive. He took the mic and he said, if you ask me, I would. Suddenly, immediately the teacher stopped. I never asked you. He just cut in right there. I didn't even ask you. Please wait, let me finish my lecture. Then you can ask whatever you want to say. But our nature is, we don't care about anyone. We are so much of wisdom we have, right? We go on giving advices to people. Anyway, so while these people are sitting and talking like that, an interesting thing happened. That time, a great sage, Vyasadev's son, Shukadeva Goswami, arrived to the spot. So as soon as he came, everyone got up and then offered their pranam, obeisances, and the king offered him a special place. And Shukadeva Goswami sat over there. Parikshit Maharaj's folded hands, he praised Shukadeva Goswami. It is just simply because of God's mercy you are here. It's just because of God's mercy you are here. But even this is another important quality that we can understand from Parikshit Maharaj. Now, when he went through this whole thing, he could have told that why God put me into this situation. Why I have to go there and ask for a water, and he didn't give water, and I put a snake. He has to curse. God is putting me in trouble. Why he has to do this one, right? He didn't think like that. Secondly, now he is thinking that it is God's mercy that you are arrived here. Even at the time of death, I'm going to die in 7 days. See how great God is. Sent you here to help me to find out what am I supposed to do in 7 days. So he's just, thank you for coming here. Then he said, Shukadeva Goswami, as you're a learned person, what did Shukadeva Goswami ask? What does Parikshit Maharaj asked? The Saunaka Rishis asked Suta Goswami, what did Parikshit Maharaj ask? Because he cannot ask some basic questions. He's a great learned person. So from his childhood, he was very devoted to God. How he was devoted to God? They were just telling in the sloka. Even that usually children will play with toys and all those things. He also used to play with toys because children like toys. But then interesting, the way that he plays with toys is, when he has a toy of something, he'll keep that toy's name is Gopal. Right? And some other toy's name is Narayana. Some others name is something. Even the toys' names, he will have this sort of type of names, and he play with those toys. That's how his consciousness is, right? That's how he is always involved even before he was born, he was devoted, right? Parikshit. Right? So he must have asked some nice questions. Could you please elaborate those details? And Shukadeva, then they said, yes, there were many questions that's been asked in the conversation. And then they went back to what Shukadeva Goswami said. Shukadeva Goswami said that the lifespan of everyone is very short. Lifespan has Ayur Harati Vai Pumsam Udhyan Astam Chayan Aso Tasyarte Yat Kshana Nita Uttama Sloka Vartaya. You people have asked a wonderful question. Shukadeva Goswami is telling to Parikshit Maharaj, you have asked a wonderful question. The question is, what am I supposed to do at the time of death? You asked a wonderful question, which is very beneficial to everyone, because every raising of sun and setting of sun is, we are all one day closer to death. Therefore, we are very getting close to death. What is the purpose of life unless and until it is utilized properly? Life has to be utilized properly. Right? The trees lives. Now you should slowly start recollecting what we covered in the previous classes. The tree lives for many years. Tree also live for many years. You also live for many years. But what's the use of such a life? Right? Then he gives many examples. He goes on saying that, if your tongue is not be utilized in the service of God, chanting the name of God, it is like a tongue of a frog. Right? Tongue of a frog. And you also breathe in and breathe out. exhale and inhale. And there is also in the blacksmith, the goldsmith, the people who, they also have this bellow, it's called bellow, where it also breathe in and breathe out. What's the use of that one? What's the use of that one? Right? You all have hands, the tree also has trunks, but what's the use of these things? And you have a wonderful crown, head, like a head. If this head is not bowed down in front of the Lord, it is just it's a heavy weight on your head. If it's not bowing down, it's waste. If your legs there, but the legs are not walking towards the temple, no use. You have the hands, but it's not using in the service of the temple, then the hands are of no use, right? And the eyes you have, what's the example he gives? The eyes that you have, it is not, the eyes that you have is not looking at the beautiful form of the Lord. It is like the eyes in the peacock feather, right? Peacock also has wonderful, beautiful eyes. What's the use of those things? It is not going to be of any use of those things also. Therefore, human life is meant to be utilized properly in the service of God. Parishit Maharaj then he said, "O learned Brahmana, you know everything because you are without material contamination." He is praising the Shukadeva Goswami, you know everything. Therefore, I beg you to please tell me what I am supposed to do at this point of time. Now, Shukadeva Goswami gives two options. Who remembers? Two options, remember? One option he gives is ready. That's a big, that's a long program. It's a bigger program. He said that now imagine, you have to remember that the whole body of the Lord in a Virata Purusha, Virat Roop. Every part, every planetary system is part of the Lord. Starting from his feet, lotus feet, up to the top of his head. Everything is a planetary system. And many devatas are situated in this body. Akash, Nakshatra, Surya, everything that you can think of, everything is located in his body. Right? Now you start thinking about this Virata Roop. Now you have to meditate on this Virata Roop. When you meditate on this Virata Roop, then you can understand these things. This is what you need to do. Even Narada Muni also did the same thing. He also meditated on this same thing. Then he said that, then the story carries on into the Narada Muni's lifetime. When, not Narada Muni's past, Brahma's thing. When Brahma appeared, then everything was dark. Throughout, everything was dark. And he don't know what to do. Then he traveled through the stem. There's a stem, lotus stem. He was continuing to travel to find where is the starting part of this whole thing. He couldn't find where it starts. Right? It comes down from some Satyaloka. He comes down to find out the root of where it base is, but he couldn't find it. Then he went back, and then some voice he heard. Then at this lifetime, you have to do more tapasya, tapaha. You need to do more tapasya. Then you will understand. Then Brahma sat and started meditating on this beautiful form, Virata Roop form. And then 1,000 years passed. 1,000 years, not our calculation, the Devata, celestial calculation. Different, it's a bigger number than this one. Then he was able to visualize the Lord appeared and showed him the Vaikunta, the entire Vaikunta. The Brahma saw the entire Vaikunta thing. So Parishit Maharaj was thinking, now I have to, in 7 days I have time, I have to sit and think about this Virata Roop form, right? I have to focus on everything. It's going to be quite challenging. It's going to be very difficult. How anyone can think about this Vishwarupa, Virata Rupa? It's going to be quite. Is there a second option? Any other options is there that we can do meditate about? Yes. Second option is gives. The Lord is situated in everyone's heart as Paramatma, with a beautiful form. Right? You can think about the beautiful form of the Lord. How the Lord stands with a flute, with a peacock feather on his head, right? With a pitambara, with the yellow silky garments, dhoti, and Vaijayanti mala, and Kaustubhamani on his chest, All this beautiful narration has been given. You can meditate on the Lord like this, and then in this way you can attain the same result of what one can attain even in the other way. He says this way. Then Parishit Maharaj becomes very happy. He understands. He said he becomes very happy. Then yeah, the king now says, Parishit Maharaj asks a question now. Could you please? Then he goes on asking certain question. He said, I want to know more in detail about how this whole creation happened. And then Shukadeva Goswami said, I will explain you the same thing what Brahma told to Narada Muni, Narada Rishi. Then he started explaining the conversation between Narada Muni and then Brahmaji. Narada Muni and Brahmaji. Narada asked a similar question. How this whole thing is getting created? What are the cause of this creation? I heard that you are the creator, Brahmaji. How you been created? If you are the creator, is there anyone who created you? Or you are the only main person? So he was asking, Narada Muni was asking all these questions, Narada was asking these questions to Brahmaji, and that will be the answer that Shukadeva Goswami will give to Parikshit Maharaj. So when this called Katayasya Mahabhaga Yataham Akilatmani Krishne Nivasya Nisangam Manastyakteshi Kaleshwaram. So King Vishnu, narration of concerning the Lord who possesses wonderful potencies are certainly auspicious for living being in all planets. Therefore, I like to hear more about these things: the cause of creation, the various avatars. What are the different avatars are there? Explain me the pastimes of different avatars, and especially tell me about Krishna's pastimes. So I want to hear more about Krishna's pastime. Therefore, then these things are told. And Parishit Maharaj asks the same question. Therefore, Shukadeva Goswami is going to narrating these things. And then the very first thing that he talks about is this particular thing, where the creation of everything, the creation of 24 elements. Many of you must have seen this particular slide in our Bhagavad Gita class when we did the Bhagavad Gita chapters also. So he is going to explain these things also. And then after he explains these things, then he wraps up. Sukadeva Goswami wraps up. I told everything to you, and then this is what the whole life. One is going to die. They have to concentrate, focusing more on hearing about Krishna's pastime. That is what one needs to do. And then this month, in another 2 more days, we are finishing the last month of Chaturmasya. The Chaturmasya are 4 months. The last month now is Damodar Masa. It's also called Damodar Masa. It's also in calendar, some places called as Kartik Masa. This in a Vaishnava tradition. So this is a month, is a very special month. Is the 2 more days, and then this will be over. But the last 5 days of Kartik month is very important, which is ending on the Tuesday. Bhishma Panchaka. It's called Bhishma Panchaka. 5 days of the last 5 days. So anything that we do on this last 5 days is very, very auspicious, very special. And even if you failed to do or missed or somehow couldn't do the other months, and this month, this last 5 days is a very important thing. So if you can chant extra rounds, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, or you can also read some Bhagavad Katha extra, you can listen extra things, do some services. Everything is very special. This one. Today is the second day of this Panchaka. Yesterday was Ekadeshi. Today is second day. So therefore, we usually every year we do this Damodar Ashtakam. So this is the last chance for us. So I asked Nataraj and Prabhu to come here, and he'll do the Damodar Ashtakam prayer, and we'll all offer the lamp, and then we'll end the class for today, and we'll start from next class where we start. Is it okay? Okay. So let's get ready for Damodar Ashtakam.